Budgeting is so humbling. You will realize, ooh, I was spending way too much money. Girl, if it's not in your budget, you're not going. You have to stick to your budget, okay? Put our thinking caps on and think wisely and make wise financial decisions. And you want to make your money work for you, this video is for you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lex, and today I'm going to be putting you guys on to how to budget for dummies. So grab a notebook and a pen to take some notes because I'm about to put you on. There's so many different ways to budget. It can be as complex or as simple and straightforward as you would like it to be. Me personally, I like for things to be simple and straightforward. So that's what we're gonna do today. I think budgeting is so important because if you don't budget, your money is gonna be spent on things that you don't need for real or things that just aren't necessities. And if you really wanna hit your financial goals, you need to be on top of what money is coming in and what money is going out and where exactly it's going. And you want to make sure that your wants and needs are taken care of. I'm gonna show you guys how to make that little paycheck you're getting every week or every 2 weeks work for you. I personally do a paycheck to paycheck budget. You can do a monthly budget if you want. I tried it and I just feel like it was a little bit too overwhelming for me and it kind of stressed me out. So I like to take it one step at a time, one paycheck at a time, and I like to budget before I even get paid. This is so important because when you already have a clear budget before you receive that check, you know exactly where your money needs to go before you even receive it. If you wait until Friday or whenever payday is for you, you're gonna be in a good mood when you get paid. Like, let's be for real. Once that check clears on Friday, and then it's Friday too, you're gonna be like, oh, well, let me go out to eat. Drinks are on me because I just got paid. I'm in a good mood. And we don't want that because that's how you end up spending frivolously. I believe in the every dollar has a name theory, or just the concept that there is no dollars that are unaccounted for. And I can show you better than I can tell you once we get into the budget, which we're gonna do right now. Let me put my glasses on so you guys know that I mean business. So I have my phone here. We're gonna open up the Notes app. Okay, for the title, it's literally just gonna be budget. Let's keep it simple, right? Underneath your title, you're going to put your income. So I think most people get paid the same amount every week or every 2 weeks, especially if you're working salary or like a full-time job or a part-time job, but you have the same hours. So you pretty much know what you're gonna get paid before you even get paid. So let's just say our income is $1,200 every 2 weeks. And like I said, there's so many different ways to budget. I know some people like to write it down in like a planner and keep it all cute and organized. Some people like to stick to a strict Excel budget, but let's be realistic. I'm not walking around with a budget book. I'm not walking around with my laptop to constantly have access to Excel to see what my budget is looking like all the time. One thing I'm always gonna have on me is my phone. So that's why I do my budget on the Notes app, because it's free. You don't have to download any external apps, which you could, but like I said, this is a simple budget. I always have my phone on me. I always have access to my notes, and I always have access to my budget to see what exactly the finances are looking like for these 2 weeks that I need to make my paycheck stretch. Under income, next we're gonna do save. I always believe that you should pay yourself first when you get your check, because you don't want to be paying bills left and right or spending frivolously left and right, and then you turn around and you have no money left for yourself. No. I know you would hate that because I hate when that happens. So pay yourself first. You can determine what's a good save amount for you. For the purposes of this video, let's say we're saving $200 because we are saving mildly aggressively because, you know, we're following that 100 envelope challenge that I mentioned in one of my other videos. I'll link it up here if you haven't seen it. Go check it out. Now let's work into our bills. Let's say you pay rent, and let's just say your rent is $1,000 every month. If I were to be paying rent, I would not take $1,000 from my $1,200 paycheck to go straight towards my rent. I would take a little bit of each paycheck to put towards my rent, so that way when it's time to pay, I'm not left broke for the next 2 weeks until I get paid again. Does that make sense? Rent is due on the 1st, and I'm gonna get paid twice before the 1st. I'm going to take $500 from this check and $500 from my next check to make sure that I have that $1,000 to pay my rent. So for this check, we're gonna take $500, set that aside for my rent. Let's say we're gonna spend $100 on groceries to last us for the next 2 weeks, which I know it's not that realistic in this economy right now, but you know, just for the purposes of this video, rock with it. And also be smart when you're buying groceries. Maybe get a chicken, a steak, a fish or shrimp, and then some rice, you know, bulk buy veggies and plan out your meals. You have to do what you have to do in order to make your finances work for you, okay? Now let's say we want to put money towards going out. Because let's be for real, we're young, we're turned, even if we're not young, we're still, you know, we still have things to do, people we want to see, and activities that we want to indulge in. Let's say it's Friday, you're going out this weekend and you're also going out next weekend. What I typically do is kind of get an idea of how much I'm gonna spend for whatever activity it is that I'm doing, so that way I can put that money aside. Okay, so let's say I'm going out to eat this weekend and next weekend. I'm gonna give myself a budget of $200 for both weekends for going out slash, you know, personal spending or playtime, whatever you want to call it. And now that you have that written down, you have to stick to that, okay? You can't be out to eat and you let your friends gas you up. Oh, let's get another drink, even though it's not in your budget. Oh, let's get some appetizers, even though it's not in your budget. Oh, let's get some dessert. Oh, let's go to this place after. Oh, let's go to this club. Girl, if it's not in your budget, you're not going. You have to stick to your budget, okay? Embody the idea of living below your means just for a little while so that you can meet your financial goals while also having some fun. Let's say that we also want to treat ourselves to some shopping. And just looking at the numbers right here, we're not gonna have that much to go shopping. Let's be honest with ourselves. We wanna put a little bit of something aside to treat ourselves because we're working so hard, and you know, life is short. You gotta treat yourself a little bit. So let's say we put $50 towards shopping, and that probably can't get you much if you really wanted to go to the mall and, you know, kind of splurge a little bit, but that could be $50 that we take from each check to put aside towards a shopping spree that'll happen maybe in a few weeks or a few months. The point is you're still putting money towards your wants. So if we just add this up really quick, $200 to save, $500 towards our rent, $100 towards groceries for the next 2 weeks, $200 towards going out for the next 2 weeks, and $50 towards shopping slash treating ourselves. So we're at $1,050. So that leaves us with about $50 to play with. Another thing, I recommend having a broke amount. Basically, this is the amount where once your account hits that number, you're broke. You don't spend no more money. I don't like the idea of $0 being your broke amount. No, I like to have a cushion. I never like to be down and out. So for instance, a broke amount can be $100. Once your bank account hits $100, you do not spend anymore. That is your broke, okay? Do not have your broke amount being zero. Even if it's $20, $50, $60, $100, have a little cushion for yourself because anything can happen. You never wanna have $0 in your account until your next paycheck. That's like the worst place that you could be. So just to have that little peace of mind, let's say $100 is our broke amount. So once again, we have $50 to play with. Following that every dollar has a name theory, we're not just gonna leave that money up in the air, we're gonna call it miscellaneous. This is gonna be our miscellaneous category for $50, and that could be towards, you know, little expenses that may pop up. Maybe you need an extra carton of milk that you forgot to get when you were grocery shopping, or maybe you need to run to CVS to get some toilet paper, or maybe you ran out of whatever it is. That little miscellaneous amount is for those purposes. So that way your budget isn't super strict to where, you know, you can't spend an extra dollar on something if you really need to, but you just have a category that's dedicated towards those instances, okay? Once again, because every dollar has a name, there's no dollars that are not accounted for. And then let me just add in here too our broke amount, which is $100, which we do not touch. So it's kind of similar to our miscellaneous category, but the difference with the miscellaneous category is that you can actually spend that money if something were to come up. The broke amount, you really don't want to spend that unless it's like a big emergency. I also recommend having an emergency fund. I was in a mentorship program when I was in my late teens, and they mentioned this to me, and I've lived by it ever since. They recommended a emergency fund of $1,000, and I think it's super important because emergencies happen. Like, let's be for real, life happens, things happen, and you need to have backup money outside of your savings, because like I mentioned in my how to save $10,000 video, we're not dipping into our savings. If that's the case, we're never gonna save the amount that we wanna save. That savings is untouched. That money literally does not belong to you, it belongs to your future self. So that's why we have a separate emergency fund for when shit hits the fan and we need some money ASAP. Personally, I think $1,000 is a good amount because that can cover most emergencies. I feel like for instance, if you were to catch a flat tire and you need to run to the shop to get it fixed ASAP so that you can get to work the next day, $1,000 should be able to cover, you know, the tire that went flat. Maybe you lost your job, God forbid, and you need need a little money to get you some food or whatever the case is, that's what that emergency fund is there for. So that's just a little pro tip as well. But the broke amount is similar to your emergency fund because, like I said, it's just that cushion. You never want to spend all of your money, ever, 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 ever. Never spend all of your money. Let's be smart, okay? Put our thinking caps on and think wisely and make wise financial decisions. So now that we have all of our expenses listed in our little budget on our notes app, we're gonna go into our calculator and just add everything up. So saving 200 plus 500 towards our rent, $200 for going out, $50 towards shopping, $50 towards miscellaneous, and $100 for our broke amount. So as you can see, $1,200 is our income, which sounds kind of scary, but once again, every dollar has a name, so every dollar is accounted for. There's no money that's up in the air that could be spent on things that you don't actually need. And this is why I love budgeting, because it makes you realize how much you're spending. When you budget and you clearly see where your finances are going, it'll make you tighten up real quick, especially if you have financial goals that you are trying to reach. I know some people kind of just have an idea of their bills and things in their head, but once you write it on paper or in your notes app, for instance, or just see it physically with your own two eyes, you will realize, okay, I need to cut down on, shopping. I need to cut down on going out. I need to cut down on spending money on random things if I really want to be able to pay for my bills on time and still have money left over for myself. And then also, when you see your budget with your own two eyes, maybe you'll realize that you need another source of income. So maybe you will realize that you need to pick up a side job, or you need to do a side hustle, or that skill that you have, see if you can make some money off of it so that you can increase your income and have a little bit more wiggle room with your finances. Until then, we just have to live below our means for a little bit. I feel like the concept of this is very underrated. Everybody wants immediate gratification, and me included. Like, who doesn't want to enjoy the things now? Who wants to wait until later on to enjoy them? But once again, if you want to be a little bit more financially literate and just have better control over your finances, then you will do what you need to do to make that happen. And that includes living below your means if your finances are a little bit tight. Budgeting will humble you, okay? And sometimes we need to be humbled, because we think that we have all this money in the bank until it's second week now into your paycheck and you're broke. So now you have to last through the whole week before you get paid again. And it should not be like that. We should never be fully broke at any point when we have a decent amount of money coming in, as long as we are budgeting and being smart about our finances. If you want to take it a step further, what I used to do back in the day was I used to take out money from my check. So instead of just having categories written down in my notes app on my iPhone, I would have folders or envelopes, and on each envelope I would write the category or the expense. So I would have an envelope for rent, an envelope for groceries, an envelope for saving, an envelope for shopping, and then I would take out that cash from my paycheck and I would physically put the exact amount of cash into each envelope so that it's literally sealed and put away, and I cannot touch that money unless it's for that specific category. And also, when you do that cash envelope system and you have to take money out to pay for whatever thing it is that you need to pay for, and you physically see that money leave your fingers, you're gonna move a little bit differently. It's gonna hit a little bit different than if you were to just be swiping your credit card left and right, not really seeing the money physically leave. So that'll help you tighten up with your money as well. But it is 2024. Most people don't even take cash anymore, so it's kind of harder to do that. But I would say try it out and see if it works for you. And that's pretty much it. Budgeting can be as simple as that, just adding your income versus your expenses in your notes app on your phone. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure you comment down below. Make sure you leave a like and a comment regardless. Just give me some feedback. Let me know what you're thinking about the video. If you guys want more finance related videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to be notified every time I upload, because it's quality content on this side. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.